to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Everyone, please silence devices if you have not. Ms. Kelly, a roll call of the commission, please.
Drew Byner,
Here.
Christopher Felker,
Here.
Dwayne Banky,
Here.
Doug Nell,
Here.
Michael Sutton.
Here.
Very good. We're missing Mr. Marshall and Ms. Pearsall, but we have a quorum, so we can conduct business. Next is the approval of the agenda for tonight. Does anyone have any changes? Hearing none, a motion's in order.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
We have support. All in favor? Aye. Those opposed? None. Motion carries. Next is approval of August 21 of 2025 meeting minutes. Did anyone see any changes to said minutes? I myself did not. Everything looked in order? And a motion
Make a motion to support
to approve?
August,
To approve.
make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of August 21st, 2025.
Support.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? None. Motion carries. Approval of the meeting minutes. Call to the public, limited to agenda items only. Seeing no public, we'll move on. Business item is, should that be a discussion item? It's not a bit, or is it a business item?
It is.
It's a business item. Item A, a discussion on proposed draft ordinance for 38-171 of our ordinances on accessory buildings, structures, and uses. So my understanding is that this comes before the zoning board of appeals way too often, that it seems that our ordinances are somewhat restrictive, or that people want more. And so the discussion here is to see what we could do to bring this up to areas that are more consistent with, let's say, our neighboring townships. So Michelle, can you speak on those?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So there currently are regulations in place that restrict how much of the yard can be taken up by accessory structures. We also have lot coverage and setbacks that come into play. And so based on the direction at that July meeting, we've offered some language that, for one, makes it a little easier to administer, easier than the scaled approach to floor area for accessory structures that we currently have in the ordinance, and then also permits more flexibility, particularly for lots that are an acre or larger. We find that with all the other dimensional standards that are in place, there's not really a need to be so restrictive for floor area for accessory structures.
So I do not have ordinances in front of me.
Yes, you do. It was attached in the packet.
Here, I can give you.
I did not print the packet.
Here it is. This is the.
Thank you.
And I also sent out a red line version because I realized the version I sent to Deborah before didn't show the markups. So now it should be easier to see if you look at that version that I emailed you all today. Just what change is being proposed.
I'm just kind of breezing over this, and so where are our biggest problems? On parcels up to and including 1 acre, the accessory building shall not exceed. Is this newly written?
That's the.
100% of the gross floor area?
That's what's proposed.
I got you. Right now, that is at 50%.
So
Up to 1 acre, 50% of your home size.
for parcels up to 2 acres, it's up to 50%. So even on 2 acre parcels, your accessory structure can only be half the size of the ground floor area of your house. And then it scales, it gets larger on the bigger lots, but it still is a pretty low allowance. And it's definitely lower than some other communities. What I see.
Lower than every other
Oh, yeah,
community
what I
around
see
here.
very frequently.
Ours are more restricted.
Much more. If there is a coverage for like all parcels of any size, it'll typically be 150%. or sometimes larger, of the ground floor area of the main house.
So what do we want our maximum, let's say, requirement to be, or the minimum the maximum that someone can do and the minimum of a size? Is it 30% of lot?
Structure to lot
Coverage?
size.
I would say not to exceed 30% of lot coverage, to get rid of the 1 acre and under, just don't have a size requirement on the acreage. You just can't exceed 30% lot coverage. It doesn't matter, you know, if it's a garage house, you just can't exceed 30% lot
Right.
coverage.
No, and I'm all for personal property rights that, you know, if you're not upsetting your neighbors or exceeding our requirements, that you should have the freedom to be able to build larger structures if you like or you need. Does anyone have any points in here, Michael, things that you've brought up or that you've seen in
Well,
here?
So, I mean, I go back to, all the way to 85, and I had 10.01 acres, and I had to get a variance to build a 40 by 96 building because of the laws back then, because it was an R2 zone, 10 acres. They changed the laws and allowed, 5 acres 1, 10 acres 2, so that allowed me to do things later. But if you look at my current situation, of which I had to get a variance, I have 5 lots. And I had to get a variance to build a 30-foot by 48-foot accessory building. I got it, and no one objected to it. And I had to go before the ZBA. And it's attached across the street, if you will. And we've been doing these variances, what is it, about 75% are granted for these variances. So that is a trend. You look at the houses are all coming with 2.5s or 3-car garages nowadays. And I think when we're looking at this, people build larger garages to put RVs in, mostly. And so you look at the RVs I've had over the years. I've had a truck camper, which I had to go through a 12-foot door. A fifth wheel, which I needed a 14-foot door because it was 13 and change. My current motorhome is 11.4, so my building has 14-foot sidewalls. And then a low-pitch roof, 412 pitch roof. So, but if you think about a 50-foot building, let's say you're on a 1-acre lot, a 50-foot building with a 612 pitch, you're looking at 26 feet. Which far and exceeds what they have here. And I think we need to look at, and this is what I see happening, this is what I see, is people putting larger vehicles indoors. If you're dropping 100K on a fifth wheel or motorhome, you want to keep it indoors. So, thought process of no more than a 14-foot sidewall. And the reason I'm saying 14-foot sidewall is that your bridges are what, typically 14.1 to 14.6, Wayne?
14.6,
Wayne?
typical.
They're 13.6 maximum road height on
Right.
all interstates
Okay,
of any traveling vehicle.
okay, without having to go to an overheight restriction. So a 14-foot sidewall would give you that this is, your door's not gonna come down to your rafter. Your door's gonna come a little bit lower than your rafters.
Right.
So that gets you in with some of these fifth wheels and motorhomes and stuff that are out there.
But Mike, let me ask you a question on that.
Okay.
Nowhere in here is the conversation about height.
Yeah, it is.
But height is in there.
It is in there.
It
In
is
the
under-
original ordinance.
It's 21 feet.
And
Yeah.
acres, for anything under 1 acre
It's
in
14 feet.
size, you can't, so for all lots, 14-foot max height.
Single story.
If you are over 1 acre, you can go up to 21 feet in height,
This says 22.
or
22.
22, yes, I'm sorry. So there is a heights in it now.
And unless you build a barn roof, where you can take a 10-foot sidewall and essentially tip it in a
Right.
little bit on a barn roof, and you don't want that in areas that have, regular gable roofs. I just think, we don't have to make a decision tonight, but I want to open up the thought process about what we're going to allow. Are we going to say, you know, it's like, is it going to have to be, can it be an all-metal building? Does it have to be a brick building? Does it have to be a wood-sided building? We have to think about how it fits in with the neighborhood. What kind of roof does it have to have? Well, metal roofs are in nowadays. Does it have to have a sealed ridge metal roof on it, or
Well-
a siding type metal roof, or?
Well, if I may, I mean, I don't believe it's our purveyance to say what it should be built of. That would typically be under the rulings of a homeowners association, let's say, if anything.
What if you're not?
Well, then why should we care what it's built of?
Okay, but this is why I'm trying to bring up these points. This is why I'm throwing this out for discussion, so that we can think about this, talk about it, drive around and look.
Will something like this have, would it have, and will it perhaps not cause the kerfuffle that Dove Lake did if they have upfront restrictions or guidelines to the 37 houses in a row and what they can and can't do on that postage stamp size lot?
Well, right now it's controlled at 30%. And
Okay,
on that particular one, because it's a PUD, we limit them to 25%.
okay.
So whether somebody builds out 30% on an attached structure, or somebody builds out 30% with a domicile and an accessory structure, it's still 30% lot coverage.
Yeah, it's a total
Usage.
total percentage of the lot.
If,
And there are separate rules in here for waterfront yard
correct,
setbacks.
correct. So
Maybe four.
I think what we'd rather have, this is just my thoughts, I'm not trying to influence. I'd rather have somebody park their toys, which we all seem to have a lot of, inside
100%,
than outside.
I agree.
If you can build the structure to hold.
If you
Or you
have the
you have the
room,
yeah.
if you have the room and you're not exceeding 30% lot coverage, you know.
Well, and that saves you, I mean, it's expensive to build a building, but in the long run, you know, it's probably more expensive to, let's say, if you had to rent a spot to put your RV
I
over
was-
years.
I was paying, I was
100?
paying 675 every 6 months up the street here.
$1,200 a year.
$1,200 a year.
10 years, 120 grand.
Yeah.
I spend almost
No,
1,000
12.
a year for an uncovered spot.
Uh-huh.
Mine had a cover over it.
I park mine there because there's no mice, there's no chipmunks, there's none of that.
Right,
Which I would
right.
all have at my house.
Yep. So maybe the thing to do is all of us look at these, look around, see what other people are doing as far as in the area. Maybe we can get a list of the variances that have been granted in the last, let's say, maybe 3 years,
Yeah, I have those.
that we can see what people are building. What are people asking for?
So what you gave me, Deborah, is the newly written, the idea of a newly written ordinance.
No, that's not from, you mailed one out, I didn't print today's out, that was the old one, so, you know.
I have.
This is what you think, this is what you think it should be, Michelle?
Yeah.
Your suggestion?
Yeah, suggesting just based on the discussion.
Sure,
just
and then-
no regulations, no additional regulations beyond what we have for coverage of the rear yard and just general lot coverage. If it's over 1 acre.
So
Or
comparing,
under, depending on what. you
Under,
want.
I think we need to address, because most of the people that are coming in, they ask for variances and stuff are probably under an acre.
Yeah, and right now that they're capped at 50%, so I'm suggesting we bump it up to 100. But it'd be
Yeah,
You're
It'd
still,
be good
you're
to
still
see what
capped,
the variances are.
yeah, you're still capped at
Lot
30%.
Yeah, the
30%.
30% lot coverage.
lot coverage.
We could just totally stick to lot coverage and rear yard coverage and setbacks and then.
Meaning you
just-
still have setbacks, you still have all
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
So you're gonna
So
have
it'd be
to,
easier
your
for them.
envelope is going to,
Right.
your envelope is shrunk based on all those setbacks.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on a septic, you still have your septic, you still have your auxiliary,
Right, you
Mm-hmm.
have
your
still have
backup
every,
septic, I mean,
There's a lot of restrictions that are going to limit the size of the building if you're on a smaller lot. Automatic in there. Your
Right.
front and side setbacks, your septic, if you're on septic, those types of things. So
a
right.
blanket percentage coverage would make it easier.
right. You can't exceed 30% lot coverage,
Yeah.
one outbuilding, you know,
under 5 acres.
right. Under.
No, actually, under 10.
Under 10. Yeah,
Right.
currently it's under 10 and then,
Yeah, one outbuilding under 10.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I
which is a
mean,
little unusual to even have that table that we have of how many.
That
buildings.
was because of a state law that was changed probably about 20 years ago. Actually, more than that. It was changed in the late 90s because I built my second building in 2000, and the law had changed already by then. And it was a 5% coverage, no more than
So
5%.
we still have that in our ordinance
Yeah.
because it's after 10 acres, you can't exceed 5%
Lot coverage,
of net, yeah, lot coverage.
yeah. So.
And that's fair to keep?
Well, it allowed me to have a 40 by 96 and a 50 by 100 on 10.01 acres.
But not tall enough to park a motorhome in.
Well, the 40 by 96 wasn't, but the 50 by 100 had 14-foot sidewalls, and it had a 412 pitch roof.
Curious, yeah.
So you had multiple buildings.
I did. Now I have one. I just have one
I wonder what it is in
30
Greenville,
footer.
'cause my neighbor built
So
one, but he
what-
had sells motorhomes.
Help me understand, I mean, I'm the dumbest guy here because
14 feet.
I was not here on that July 17th.
I don't think I was here either.
So
No, you were here.
Was I?
Yeah. I watched the video.
Oh,
why is the zoning board giving so many variances?
bingo.
Do we just feel like, let's
This is what-
hand them out?
Are
This
they
is what
giving,
the trend is, this is what people want, this is what new houses are being built with. They're being built with 3 and 4 car garages. And people who have homes want the same, they want the same.
is the zoning board of appeals giving variances to most
About
of these?
75%.
No, 75% of them have, I would say, probably 60% of them have passed
Okay.
out of the 75.
Is that a lot of number, though? Is that 5 or 20 or?
That's a
lot.
It's a ton. I mean,
No,
when,
no, I see what Dwayne's asking is that we're granting 60%, but is that of 10 or is that of 100
well,
applicants?
out of 20, say 20, 25. We
Okay.
only have
Per year.
per year.
But
yeah.
that a majority
It's a
of
lot.
them are granted because their reasoning is sound and their neighbors have no qualms.
So the
They are
threshold,
granted.
yeah, the threshold for getting a variance should really be very, very high.
Right.
But oftentimes, it's super common, ZBAs will say, well, this regulation doesn't really make sense.
And that's why we're here.
I
Exactly.
see.
So, and they shouldn't be issuing variances if the regulation is bad. It should be directed to us right away and have us explore it here.
Right.
But, you know, they're put in a
And-
position where they don't want to disappoint this property owner, so.
Well,
it's
that's
very
why
common.
I brought it to you,
Mhm,
because
yeah.
one of the zoning board members, who's a township board member, was like, look, all we're looking at is detached accessory structures. We need to revisit our ordinance. So,
Perfect.
Because what's happening, and this has been happening all the way back into the early 2000s, because I can remember talking about this all the way back then, is you had people connecting the corners of the buildings and calling it an attached building. Then the
If it's
rules were
just
changed
touch.
to make it more common enough to where they could put an entry door in. So people have been skirting the rules for 30-plus years, finding a way around them to have a larger garage and skirt that 50% floor space or 100% floor space. So the trend has been there in this, out this way, for larger accessory buildings or larger garages on houses. If you looked at, I'm trying to think of what subdivision, it's actually across the street. What they're proposing over there is these houses will have 2- and 3-car garages. Go through the 2 subs that were built over,
Hodges Green? No.
no, not Hodges, the 2 newest ones.
Hill
Willow
Arbor and Arbor Meadows?
Yeah, look at those. 2- and 3-car garages. 3-car garages are not uncommon. Not uncommon at all. If you go to the subdivision over at 9 Mile and Marshall, south of that, go through that one. 3-car garages are not uncommon over there either. So people want larger buildings, and if they can't have it because their lot's too small width-wise, but has the depth, they want accessory buildings.
And when folks try to skirt the rules, it just results in poor design.
Yeah, right.
Correct, and it looks like crap.
I would even suggest that we remove the limit, the table that says how many accessory structures you can have scaling up in
I
lot
think
size.
that would then not comply with state law. You have to comply with state law. Isn't there a law that says you can only have so many per acre?
I've never heard of that.
Where did that come from, Deb?
Oh, I don't
remember
know,
that.
that's been in the ordinance since I got here 20 years ago.
That was put in back in the 90s.
I can verify tomorrow if that's still in play, but if not, I mean,
I think in residential, that's where it comes into play, if I recall right. Now, I'm going really back into the Rolodex here.
Curious.
Doug, your thoughts, please?
I mean, I've got a 3-car garage, so I know what you're talking, Mike.
Yeah, you still
most-
farm your boat out somewhere else.
Most of my neighbors in our phase all have 3 cars. You know, I've got a neighbor across the street who has a massive outbuilding. You know, he's on 1.6 acres. I mean, and he adhered to our rules of our HOA, and it's consistent with the, you know, the frontage of his house and blah, 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 and it looks fine. I mean, it's big. I mean, it's caused some issues in a different phase of our subdivision because somebody wanted to know why they couldn't do it, and it was different. But I'm in agreeance with it. I mean, we're still limiting them by if we do a 30% or whatever percentage we lock in on, the setbacks, all, you know, they still.
Septic fields.
Septic fields. and-
Access to it.
Yeah, I mean, they still have right-of-ways and everything they've got to deal with. My question is, we have in here, you know, a 10-foot away, like a separation distance, does that work for the fire department?
That is.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I
That is
just,
building code.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't,
Fire trucks.
I mean, I know they're not gonna
You
pull in
would-
between, but it's.
You would never drive a truck in between 2 buildings.
Yeah.
You would always stretch hose, but 10 feet works.
Okay.
Because we have less than that separating houses.
Yeah,
But, you know, one of the things I also thought of, we're gonna have these accessory buildings, how are they gonna get to that building? They're gonna have to have enough separation from the lot line to the house, if you will, for them to be able to drive through.
The homeowner to be able to get.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
but that doesn't prevent somebody from driving through the setback, you know, if they put
Oh,
crash
I agree,
barriers or
I
whatever.
agree, I
yeah.
agree. The setback, you can have a driveway.
Yeah.
Within the setback. All I'm saying is that we still have to think about, they have to access it. So if you look at some of the homes over in the subdivision up at Lee and Old Lee, Saxony up there, some of those homes had attached garages, 1-car attached garages or 2-car attached garages, which put them right out to the setbacks. And then they've converted them to additional bedrooms or family rooms or things like that. And there's no way they can get a car by because of the setbacks. So they're not gonna be able to do that because they're not gonna be able to have access to it. Unless it's just gonna be for
Yep.
tractors.
Yeah.
Well, just go to the zoning board, you'll get a variance.
Only 60%.
We want to set aside some ordinances and rules to prevent people trying to seek those variances. If we write this correctly, if we make the changes that say that you have to provide access for a vehicle to get to these accessory buildings and make it 10-foot wide, because your vehicles are 6 foot, if you have a trailer, it's 8.5 feet.
And that prevents them from crushing the edge, let's say.
Correct.
Does this, I mean, I know we've got, I read it somewhere in here, can't have any part of a dwelling unit in it.
Right, correct.
That prevents us from getting into ADUs.
Yeah,
Well,
we're not doing
and that
these.
was subject of a meeting that was Monday night
Yeah, I went to a meeting on that.
about having granny-in-law buildings in houses and stuff like that. And that opened up a lot of eyes for a lot of county officials in that, and Mark brought this up, he goes, well, okay, so we have this mother-in-law apartment building out behind the house. Are you gonna assign another sewer tap to it? Are you gonna assign another water tap to it?
I mean, think about there on Silverside, the white one that's sold for the last 2 years. I think it's sold twice.
The bonus room.
It has the garage with
Oh,
the
yeah.
massive upstairs.
Well, that must be the Williams's place.
I don't know,
It's down the street.
$1.3 million
Might be one of
or
them,
something.
Yeah.
On
So,
2/3 of an acre.
yeah.
But it's attached, I think.
You
I
call
don't
it
think
the
it's
garage
attached.
mahal.
Which one?
No, it's detached.
It's
That's
detached.
where that auto broker was.
Yeah,
It's the white building.
the white one, yeah, with the,
The red the red the red barn? Is that-
no,
No.
it's a couple houses.
White House, just down from the the one that's being newly
The
built.
black,
Yeah, black and white.
the black one that towers over that tiny
Anyhow.
little cottage next to it.
Okay, so we get the idea.
I think we need to set some, if we're gonna do this, we need to set some building dimensions. Not size of the building, but
Setbacks, things
no,
like that.
no more than a sidewall. No more than X height. Can't exceed X height regardless. And right now, I think the height is set too low. But let's just say somebody put a 50-foot building in a 612 pitch, now that's a pretty steep pitch.
Right.
You could essentially, if you did a non-truss building, you did an all-steel building, you could end up with a second story inside that building
Sure.
on a 612 pitch. It wouldn't be hard. And the reason I speak that is that when I built my all-metal building, it is an all-metal building, all metal, and I have a support every 25 feet in it. And it's clear span.
Right, there's no truss across.
There's no trusses, clear span, so you could put, I didn't, but you could put a second story in there.
Or like a mezzanine in there.
Mezzanine, yes. Yeah, I always thought that I'd put the hoist, you know,
Rosa hoist in there.
yeah. I love cars.
Audrey, do you have thoughts on this? They're any different from
No, it's good.
Those
This is a
spoken.
good talk, but. it's fun to
Dwayne?
watch.
You've asked questions, what do you think?
Well, I have to tell you, my knee-jerk reaction to this was, I look outside my back window, and there's neighbors everywhere, they have multiple sheds, okay? Multiple sheds.
Okay, so is that gonna take into consideration?
Well.
Is that a
I think-
building,
I
or is
think
that a shed?
One building. I think if you can have one, I don't think you should be able to have, I mean, you might say two. I mean, Brighton allows two, but
Well, didn't you say to me that you can put up a 20 by 20 shed?
no.
Didn't I ask you one time, you said a 20 by 20?
No, a 10 by, so underneath state law, a shed doesn't require a building permit if it's under 200 square feet.
200, so
So
Okay.
10 by
10 by
20.
20?
10 by 20.
That's why I didn't get a building permit for my treehouse.
So you could put up,
You don't need one.
you could put up
not
a
a
shed,
permit.
and how many of those can you have?
You can only have one outbuilding, one building regardless. That's how our ordinance is written now.
Okay.
And but is a shed considered a building?
No, a shed, so it doesn't matter what type of building.
How many
If it's an
sheds can
8
you
by-
have?
You can have one. As
So-
you know, that's, everyone just puts them up and,
It's an accessory building.
yeah, you're allowed one detached accessory structure.
Does it matter if it's movable?
No. One,
Growing up, that's how people would get away with it, because they would build it on skids.
right.
And, oh, I got a tractor, I can drag it,
Move it.
move it, and it's,
It's still a building. And I'm thinking to myself, a 10 by 20, that's a garage.
It's a one-car garage.
It's a one-car garage.
I'd love to add it. But I can't. You know, when I built our second garage,
You have a garage.
it's, you know, I was capped, and we put an addition on the house first to get some square footage, right? And then that allowed me to put a decent-sized detached garage. So, to follow up on my earlier comment, is Sunday afternoon, I'm out on our lake, go through the chain of lakes, barely.
Barely. Water's low.
Now, you can't get through there now. And I just see multiple sheds, multiple buildings. Do we have to call Leland to get out there?
Yes, yes.
I mean, what the heck is going on? We have all these rules and regs, but if we don't enforce them, or give 60% of every variance that comes in front of the ZBA, what are we doing?
That's why we're here. To tighten this up, because if we change this accessory building, now we can say to feet, we've gone in, we've done this. There is no grandfather clause, you have to remove this. Because we don't have to grandfather sheds.
Well, I mean, if they're prior to 1967 of the adoption of the ordinance, yes, it's grandfathered, but anything after
You know, a lot of
that.
these houses were built after 67, so obviously that doesn't apply.
Well, if it was an illegal structure, it was,
begin with.
it's illegal then, it's illegal now.
That's right.
So it's just gonna go.
So if
Good
there was
point.
no permit,
Good
yeah.
point.
You sound like a lawyer.
And I think you're absolutely right, Dwayne, that we have to tell our ordinance officer, you need to be proactive instead of reactive. We don't wait till people come in and complain. You need to, if you see it, if you see something, say something to our ordinance officer. And he has a vehicle, he has plenty of time on the weekends, because he works the weekends, and he can do his reports after it gets dark, because he's here in the evenings. It's good in the summertime, not so good in the winter, but during, when he comes in in the afternoon, he can be out there driving around and taking notes on this stuff and starting to issue letters saying there has to be, all hell's gonna break loose, but that's okay, because that's how you get rid of it.
So I guess the other thing that torques me a bit is, at the end of our street, I still never got a good explanation of why I look at a 40 by 100 pole barn.
I believe that's zoned Orchard.
What
Yes.
street are we talking about?
Sumter.
Yes,
Sumter
Sumter.
and
Something where?
Shorecrest.
I always wonder what that was.
Yeah, Deborah and I have been over.
don't know what
He has
street.
an orchard, it is an orchard.
Yep.
He has
It's
his
zoned-
apple trees there.
It's zone farming. From way back.
Yep.
I know, it's incredulous, it doesn't fit, but
That's why.
So,
he grows tomatoes, I'm not
If
sure.
if
what
it
else.
was mine, I'd have no problem with it being there.
I know.
It's not mine.
Well, you know something, Wayne, I gotta give you credit for at least admitting that. If it was
And it has a
mine,
basement in that one.
Yeah, it just is
It's
so
a root,
honest.
it's a root cellar, that's what it is, not
So-
a basement. All right, so where are we going with this? So
that's
we-
exactly what I was
So we
gonna,
keep at this and we look into more, everyone look back at our existing ordinance and then,
give us 5 years of variances.
I will do that.
And Michelle, you mentioned there's a box. Does that show the various sizes?
Right here.
is that here,
So-
Dwayne?
Yeah, there's a table.
Table seven,
This
one
table?
You
seven.
can, yeah, that table right there. Yep, just showing how many accessory buildings you can have depending on the size of the lot, which sounds like we want to keep that table, remove the restrictions on the area based on the floor area of the principal home. And we already have a requirement that it has to be 10 feet from any principal building, which should be changed to any type of building. And then we also already have setbacks that require 5 feet from the rear and side lot lines.
Yeah, I had to comply with that even with the variance. I had to, I
Right.
had to comply with.
For access,
Fair
building
enough.
code, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
So,
I did it as well in 2005. I pushed it to the limit.
I am 5 feet off.
6 feet,
Sure you
right?
I am
did.
5 feet off the
Right.
lot lines, front, side, and rear. And, I'm not gonna mention any names,
Did you use a metric tape measure?
but, no, but somebody suggested that I go bigger than what I initially submitted it for, and I'm glad I did.
So,
I needed just that little extra bit.
So Leland's coming to your house next week.
No, I comply 100% with being an elected official, everything I do is
Bless.
permitted.
Thank you.
Everything I do is within the rules.
bless.
Thank you.
All right, so with all this being said, I think that was a good discussion, but we do need to revisit this, right?
More research.
So some more research, whatever you could.
Bring it back next
submit
Okay,
to us.
I'll bring it back next one.
Bring it back to us and we'll discuss more and,
I'd like to get it wrapped up before the end of the year, so it's in place for the building season next year.
yeah, that's a good idea. And we can do that in a couple months.
So
there's not much to say.
Deb, you mentioned
You heard it all.
the house with the red barn.
Right?
What?
You mentioned the house with the red metal building. And then they've got the other garages and now there's a portico.
Where's this at?
Where are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's on Silverside.
It's, oh my God.
It's to the,
It's by Mickey
No,
Steenl's house.
we're talking about Sumter and.
oh, no.
No, we moved on
We
from.
moved on.
You're
We moved on.
on Silverside?
Silverside.
Yeah, where-
Remember the White House we talked about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We call it the White House.
On the west.
Could be on
On
Mackinac.
the east side of Silver Lake.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay.
Who was the car lot guy?
So then the
Okay,
big,
I'll go over, I'll drive over there, take a look.
They've got, it's a real long house.
Okay.
I mean, it's all,
is that Green Oak Golf,
19
Green Oak Golf Course?
No.
No, it's next, it's a.
I know,
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I know the house
The
you're
new
Is it
talking
red barn with the 12-foot
yeah,
doors.
they've got the
and
new, they built the.
Have the private
Yes,
driveway?
yes.
Yeah,
So
I know the
they-
place.
That
Yep,
is
yep.
attached now.
Well, yeah, that's
That's
what I
what
was
I'm talking
figuring
about,
they
the
were
portico,
attaching.
They did attach it because, that was the only way they could have it.
Did they get a variance?
They didn't have to because they attached it. So if.
That's what I was
mean,
wondering
underneath
if
our
that's what that
ordinance,
was,
You can have
was-
as large as you want. You just can't exceed 30% as long as it's attached and it's
All right.
attached.
Wow.
But they could attach it after the fact.
No, they did footings and everything.
Yeah,
Remember
they did
we,
the footings, but I think they just did the
Yeah.
portico
Yeah.
Do you
this
remember
summer,
back in
and
the
that was
early
all.
2000s, we said a breezeway is not considered attached? I
So they
remember that.
closed this in.
Yeah, so they enclosed it all. So it's not truly, it shares a common wall and.
So Mike, just so you know, there's multiple hoists in that back garage.
All right.
Yeah.
My friend.
So, all right. Closing the discussion on the proposed draft ordinance for 38171. We shall go over this further, okay? Good discussion. Moving on, reports, chairman's report. I have nothing, although it looks like they're getting pretty close on M36 here. They're doing the other half of the bridge. And I was gonna send up my drone this week, maybe later on this week, to get a new shot of that, kind of from the same area as from April.
They were working on the northbound
And they're
entrance
working
ramp
on
this
And
morning.
they're moving equipment around here, and
The other paving.
they're getting closer. Township Board Representative, Michael, you have anything new for us?
A couple of things that bring a lot of concern to the leadership of the township. This involves what's happening at the state right now. They've already cut our constitutional spending by about $35,000. So 30%, basically, of what we were getting constitutional. If they go through with the budget as, maybe it's statutory constitutional, I get them confused, but regardless, if the budget goes through the way they have it outlined right now, it'll be an 8.8% reduction in our revenue sharing from the state, and we'll lose about $225,000 a year from the state. So, and on top of that, the 35,000. So if that happens, and we don't have a way of replacing it, which The citizens said last November that they don't want to replace it. We are being faced with having to buy all new election equipment before the election in 2028. Maybe 2026, but we're not absolutely sure. The state's not going to fund it like they did last time. That's going to be roughly 10,000 a precinct, and we have 11 precincts. That said, I've made a proposal to the board and got preliminary approval, and from the county, we're going to cut our precincts from 11 down to 8. Because the state law changed and allows us to have 5,000 per precinct now instead of the 3,000. So we're moving some precincts together. We found that there was 47% of people took advantage of early voting or absentee voting. So that reduces the load at the precincts. By cutting from 11 down to 8, we'll be able to reduce our absentee counting boards from 5 down to 3, so essentially cutting out 5 precincts or 50K there, plus the labor, plus the testing and everything else. So we're doing what we can within the clerk's department to cut costs.
So you're still stuck with that 9-day window though, too?
Well, that is law for all state and federal. I am doing it for the school elections, even though they're small, because our citizens have become accustomed to early voting. It's actually quite popular. And I know that that's popular because for a school election, especially when it's not tied to any other election, it's generally a 10% or 8% turnout, very low turnout. Well, we've already issued over 3,000 absentee ballots for this school election. So people are engaged this time. People are really engaged. And we have Whitmore Lake and South Lyon schools that are going to be up. So yeah, we're going to have the early voting. And I think that the majority of our voters who vote in this are going to be absentee or early. People like the early voting. We did the preliminary or public test last night at the board meeting, which is what I do now, so that the public has a chance to watch it on TV and everything. And yeah, it's if we lose that money from the state, there's going to have to be some serious reevaluation of what we provide. I can see Coleman Park being shuttered. I can absolutely see that being shuttered. Just put chains across it, don't cut the lawn, board up the bathrooms, and because that's an expensive proposition over there to keep that going and keep it upgraded. So these are things that, and it's not a threat. It's not.
There'll have to be cuts made if $250,000 in funding is lost.
Right,
Yeah.
now, we're smart, we still added almost $300,000 to our fund balance this year because we're being smart with our money. We're not spending money we're not spending it because we have it, we're spending it because we need to, type of thing. But even so, we're only at $3.5 million fund balance, and that's at March 31st. And that money has to last us all the way till December 1st when we get the new taxes coming in. So we're minding our P's and Q's. We just paved the cemetery out of the cemetery capital expenditure fund over on 9 Mile. I've been saving up for that for years and years and years.
Good.
And we got a heck of a price to do it. And so we did a 10-foot wide lane around Lakeview Cemetery.
Who was the vendor on that?
I have the name right here. It's,
Myers?
no.
Was it local?
Yes, absolutely local.
Somerset?
No. Began with an A, I think.
Action Asphalt?
Action.
Do you want me to go in and get it?
No,
No,
nobody.
it doesn't matter. All right.
They're also doing another paving job for us, so we were able to save on mobilization fees. So that helped, but we put it out for bid.
Are you done, Michael?
Yes,
Okay,
sorry.
that's okay. No, good information.
Guys wanna know what's going on.
As we do. Just
So we
making,
wanna go home.
I'm just making sure. Zoning Board of Appeals, Sarah's not here, so nothing from Sarah. Planning consultant,
Nothing from me.
I've heard enough. There's more, I'm sure you have more. No more?
No?
Okay. Correspondence, Deborah, I saw something from Brighton,
City of Brighton, yes.
and that's it, City of Brighton? Okay, if there's nothing more, then we're adjourned. Thank you.
No call.